Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Investigative True Crime Podcast, stream both live on Facebook and YouTube. My name is Nov. Welcome. We talk about true crime here, and today we're talking about Brian Thompson. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a new update. If you have been following this case, I have been following this case in secret. I haven't done a podcast on it just yet, but here is the podcast. We are at 12 in the morning at night, but you know what? It's Friday, well, Saturday, and we are still awake. We do true crime every single day, and we're going to do it here live. We have a massive update. It turns out not only that we have his face, we knew about his face about a couple days now, but his items, we have found his items in Central Park, I think around 110th around there, his backpack. You heard me correctly. His backpack, as you can see right here, boom, his backpack. That was found in Central Park. Now, tomorrow, I might go on a little escapade and do some research myself. I should have done that. I was going to do it 2 days ago, but I got a little stuck with the Kobayashi case. But I'm going to be tackling both the Kobayashi case and this case. We're talking about Brian Thompson as well as Kobayashi on other days. But today, in this True Crime Podcast, new information. You know, this case is kind of strange, not only from the new information that we know with his face, with the backpack, the items, his direction, but also think about the stuff that we already know. The 3 precise precision bullets to the chest with the words written on it. I mean, this is something straight out of like Law and Order, CSI, Luther. This is like some Luther most likely, but this is mysterious. This seems to be more personal. This is like a personal attack against him. Well, I don't want to talk your ears off. We have new up-to-date information as well as earlier today and just 4 hours ago. Enough with the talking. Let's get into the information about this case. Again, hit the like button, hit the share button. If you're brand new, hit subscribe. You might want to stay tuned to what I found today. Let's get to it.
Now, former FBI agent Dennis Franks. Dennis, great to see you. Thank you so much for your time on this. Do you think, first of all, police know who this person is? What are they not telling the public?
I don't know if they know who he is yet, but I think they're following every lead they can to identify who he is. There's a chance they could, but I don't have any indication of that myself. I think it's just a matter of time before he's identified. Maybe they do have some identification. I'm sure they're getting calls from people who might recognize him. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of people who think they recognize someone, and it could be that out of...
This is a very good map. Oh my gosh, this might be better than mine. Hold up, wait a minute. All right, cool.
100, there could be one that is accurate.
Investigators are now saying that they believe this shooter was in the city 10 days before the murder. Laura just talked about that. Why does that matter? What do you think investigators can learn from that?
Well, the longer that someone is present, the longer that there is to trace activities and to find some breadcrumbs, some clues about who the person is, who they communicated with, where they went, what their pattern was perhaps. And this obviously leads to identification of the person. So that is important that they do have at least a 10-day time span. I think it's the longer the time.
I'm going to pause you right there. Everybody on Twitter was saying, this is not him. No, you got the wrong guy. Listen very closely. Respectfully, I know about cameras. I'm a cinematographer, been cinematographer and photographer for many years. Let me tell you, what they did to this footage, you're seeing it right here, is they brightened it. You can tell it right here. You can tell by the exposure levels that they have brightened the footage. They have zoomed in and they tried to digitally sharpen it. I can tell, I know it. Don't go and just immediately say, it's a different this, a different that. This could possibly be the right guy. This absolutely welcome. You saying different this, different color jacket. Of course it's different color. They increase the brightness. Don't just assume just yet. LAPD, listen, NYPD, they're not, the officers might be, but the investigators, they're not stupid. They're not stupid. I can give you that. A lot of people in New York City, we don't like police. No, a lot of people do not like the police. But I can give you this. The investigators, they're not stupid. This is a collective team. So do I think this is him? Possibly. But let's keep listening.
Understand the better for identification purposes.
So Dennis, question for you. Do you think that this person is a professional, is an amateur? Because They were able to ride away from the crime scene, on this e-bike, seemingly disappear after being last spotted going into Central Park. There were people who point to the way, the gunman holds the gun in the video that we see when the crime actually occurred, but yet there also appear to be some mistakes made, like the water bottle, the phone that was dropped. Is this the action of a professional, do you think?
I've had my doubts from the beginning that it is a professional hitman. It could be, but I've had my doubts for a few reasons. Number one, even though a suppressor or silencer was used on the weapon,
that doesn't mean it's a
appeared to malfunction. He'd have to rack the slide back. And I would think that a professional would have already tested this with this.
I thought they were going to show it. I'm like, News Nation, whoa. But they didn't show it. We're good. We're fine. I don't want to violate YouTube and Facebook policy, but we're good.
Particular ammo. It could be because of the ammo, could be the silencer causing the malfunction, but it is evident that this person is proficient with a handgun. It's not somebody who just went to a concealed license course and took the course one time. He knew how to aim, to take aim, and to carefully recover after a misfire, or not a misfire, but a failure to eject. I do have questions too. He does not appear to be wearing gloves. It could be, but I don't see that.
That's
he
true.
did drop a water bottle and I think maybe a burner phone. Was that intentional? Was it a mistake? So I think there were some signs that this was not a pro. But it could be this person is intelligent. They actually did a lot of planning. Indication, to me, it points more to, a crime of passion. There's somebody that's disgruntled for some reason.
Mm-hmm. So what stands out to you most at this point about the case? I mean, we have the bullet casings with words etched on them. There's the dropped phone, burner phone, maybe, intentional, maybe not. What stands out?
Okay, now I'm going to stop here for a quick second. Do you see these words? Now, this is crazy. This is crazy. This is New York City. Definitely, this is New York City type of stuff. I want to tell you something. Do I believe this is a professional? After me doing this type of work for so long, no, he's not a professional. This sounds like a guy who had a specific personal vendetta. Him surrounding a group, or he very, very well could be someone who hired him over an immediate job, and they needed someone immediately, or they wanted to pay someone cheap. But no one would pay someone cheap to get a dirty job done. If someone would pay somebody cheap to get this job done, they're going to snitch if they get caught. So this sounds like this sounds personal. This sounds personal. This sounds like someone hired someone to hire out a guy. You get it? When you hire a hitman hires someone, that's far from the link from the original person. So this sounds like something very personal. This is something straight out of a fucking movie. Look at this fucking shit. Words found on bullet casings. Deny, defend, like, do you not see this? This is insane. This is coordinated. This is planned, but definitely not a professional. If you're dropping water bottles and phones and you're making mistakes, I mean, the guy had no gloves. He pulled his mask down at a Starbucks because of a girl? What? Who makes that mistake? If you were hired for a job, a hitman, you would not make a mistake like this. You must not make mistakes like this. Forget the money that you got paid to do this job for. Excuse me, but dude, your face is forever on the internet. You will be found. You will be found. And rumor has it, FYI, if you didn't know, they believe that he is now out of New York City. He fled. This sounds personal. Tell me in the comments right now, what do you guys believe? What do you believe? What do you think? I'm going to read the comments as the video plays. Don't forget to hit the like and share button. Facebook, 7 shares. Wow. YouTube, 70 likes. Can we hit that like and share button, guys? I would appreciate that so much.
About the most.
That it is personal. That this person either, like I said, was, a disgruntled investor, former employee, maybe had a relative who was denied health care or some insurance dispute. So it is personal. The fact that he would leave those notes, those etchings on the casings was, an indication that to send a message, and that, could be intentional. I guess you could always theorize, was that just to throw off investigators? That could be, but I think it leans more toward it being personal.
Thanks for watching.
You know what this could sound like? This could sound like somebody's parents or brother died in this healthcare system, and then he's paying for it. Breezy, whoa, Breezy with a $9.99, looking fine. She's always on time, and that rhymed. That rhymed too. She said, "Did you like and share?" Did you? You guys heard Breezy, right? Better listen to Breezy if I was you. All right, now we got new up-to-date videos. This is now new videos from 3 hours ago to 30 minutes from this time. Let's have a listen. New up-to-date information about this case of the death of Brian Thompson.
Telling CNN that police believe they found the backpack belonging to the assassin who killed the CEO of UnitedHealthcare, Brian Thompson.
Now I'm going to debunk this. You heard what she said? I'm just going to debunk this. If they found that exact backpack, that means this guy's a male, and that is the guy from the Starbucks video footage. Please, guys, stop listening. The comments that I heard from Twitter's ridiculous. X is ridiculous. Elon destroyed that whole entire app. They are spreading stupid misinformation, and I'm here to tell you, use your brain. If that is the same backpack as what they found in Central Park, that you cross-reference that means that is the same person. Whether you think that the lighting is off or whatever, stop it. They found the same exact backpack. Don't let these other I don't know what these other people are telling you. I'm showing you the proof. People saying this is not the guy as to this guy. So sorry about that. Let me actually get the correct. Sorry about that. Let me get the image. Let me get the image because I want to be politically correct here. Here it is. I got it. Okay. People were saying, and I'm here to give you the facts, that this wasn't the same guy. Guys, come on. It's the lighting. Also, the backpack concludes, it tells you, if they both have a backpack, but this is different lighting, but they found the backpack. Boom. Both people were using this, had the same gray backpack. They had this type of backpack over at B&H. I know exactly what type of backpack this is. And guess what? Boom, bam, bada bam, boop, pow. Same person. That's the bunk. Over.
Thompson. ABC News obtained a picture of the backpack.
Right there. By the way, guys, let me get Debbie's in the chat for Breezy for that $9.99.
To show it to you here. Again, this is ABC had gotten this picture of it. We are told that backpack was found in Central Park in New York City. Now, you know that for days now, authorities have been scouring that park. They've been looking for the backpack, and it appears that they may now have it. That's crucial, of course. But what they do not have is the CEO assassin. And top New York Police Department.
V Slims, I'm going to remember your comment. I'm going to remember that.
Officials tell CNN exclusively right now that they have reason to believe that the suspect left on a bus on Wednesday, hours after the killing.
We also have reason to believe that the person in question has left New York City.
We have video of him entering the Port Authority bus terminal. We don't have any video of him exiting, so we believe he may have gotten on a bus.
Okay, that's crucial information. So let's just start with all of where we are here, what we know about the suspect's movements after the murder in Midtown Manhattan. Investigators say the assassin, who they do believe acted alone. So, we've talked about the phone call that he had just before the shooting. Right now, they're saying they believe he acted alone. So he did this assassination, shooting Brian Thompson in the back. Then he runs from the Hilton where he had shot Thompson with a silencer. He runs on that bike, gets on a bike, goes into Central Park. He exits the park, and we'll show you the map here, around 77th Street. Just the context here, that's 23 blocks from where the murder took place. For anyone not a New Yorker, that is just over 1 mile. He then made his way to 85th Street, where police...
By the way, if you doubt that this isn't him, they have his whole entire They have all the footage of when he first came in to when he exited. When they believe now he exited from the city. So I don't know how you don't. I'm not here to debate with you on. I believe that's just my opinion. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I will let you guys know. But that's him. Like they're not. I don't think they're wrong. Like in any way, they're not wrong. They're not. It's the same guy. You're telling me, oh no, it's a different color jacket. They lighten the footage. They need to lighten. They need to enhance it for you to see. Second thing, they literally trailed his entire bike ride to when he arrived to when he exited. It's the same. The same color jacket. He even had the same hoodie length at that time. Yo, I don't know how people are like, no, that's not. I don't like. Let's go back. The same length of it. The same. It's the same. Like it's just not the same balaclava. The same everything. It is the same male. He's white, Caucasian. Even the ends of the jacket, that pucker, is the same. Guys, why are we debating this? I mean, we have to look at the facts. Come on.
Information. So let's just start with all of where we are here, what we know about the suspect's movements after the murder in Midtown Manhattan. Investigators say the assassin, who they do believe acted alone. So, we've talked about the phone call that he had just before the shooting. Right now, they're saying they believe he acted alone. So he did this assassination, shooting Brian Thompson in the back. Then he runs from the Hilton where he had shot Thompson with a silencer. He runs on that bike, gets on a bike, goes into Central Park. He exits the park, and we'll show you the map here, around 77th Street. Just the context here, that's 23 blocks from where the murder took place. For anyone not a New Yorker, that is just over 1 mile. He then made his way to 85th Street, where police have this video of him on a bike. They say that's him and that they know that's him. Officials say from there, he walked up to 86th Street and grabbed a taxi to the George Washington Bridge bus station. Now, the George Washington Bridge is all the way north. You can see that green part of Central Park. You got to go a long way up there.
Oh, wow. He was right next to me. What? I'm going to get to these super chats. But remember, guys, if you have your opinion, if you don't believe that's him, everybody's freedom of speech and opinion is welcome. Don't worry about it. No judgment here. Let's finish listening. What?
90, see that green part of Central Park? You got to go a long way up there, 90 blocks away. And that's almost 5 miles. Okay, so he gets there in a taxi. Officials then have video, you heard them just say, entering that bus station. It is one of the busiest in the entire United States. There are 1,000 buses a day that go through that George Washington Bridge bus terminal. They say that is where they lose him because they don't see him leave.
JT, be very careful what you say, please. Don't say that.
So if he got on a bus, at this point, that means he could be anywhere in the U.S., even perhaps beyond. I mean, take a look at the map, just of some of the locations that just from that bus terminal you can go to any day: Boston, Buffalo, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C. And obviously, that could just be the tip of the iceberg from there, anywhere around the country or Canada. At this hour, DNA testing is being done on several items that they recovered at the scene of the assassination. That water bottle that we've mentioned, that the killer may have purchased just before killing Thompson, that had a smudged fingerprint on it, that's undergoing testing. They're also testing a cell phone that was recovered at...
Oh, he's done. Guys, come on. He is way too sloppy. A water bottle? You left traces of yourself? You left traces of yourself, brother. Traces of yourself. A water bottle, the phone, a burner. You use no gloves. Your face exposed. Are you out of your mind? Bro, this is personal. And you failed. And did you not watch Law and Order? I think it was hired. It was a hired hit. I think that they wanted to make it look like it was a disgruntled employee or a customer, but this is a professional. Whitney, that's not Whitney, you know what? That is a good super chat. Maybe they want them to think of something to keep them off track. I'm not going to disagree with that. I'm going to have that in the air. But if that DNA, I'm going to tell you this now, Whitney, if that DNA, if they find a match, if they find them in the system somehow, that theory would be wrong. No one's going to just sacrifice themselves to get caught to find a guy to kill him for somebody to hit that. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. They're not. But that's still in the air though. I'm not going to go. That's Whitney. That's good. My Dark, I hope I got your name right. No, I have a friend who works for United and they're investigating all employees' mails. Really? This is why I love super chats. Why you didn't say this in the Discord 2 days ago? What? Really? Why? Dark, let me know. Let me know why. I want to know why. Very good super chat. Kristen, pick and mask off with smile is a hostile flirting different day than the Starbucks video mask of 30 day before murking? So, Kristen, are you trying to say that this is a different person? Can you, Kristen Hoffman, thank you for the $4.99, by the way, and Mark Dark, thank you for the $4.99. What can you give me to show me that this is two different people? Like, for the people who don't believe that is not the same person, right? What can you show me that is two different people? Tell me in the comments. If I missed it, send a super chat or however you mean to tell me. Tell me. I'm open ears. I'm open ears.
At the scene. So these are all major developments in the backpack. We literally found out just a few minutes here before we came on air. So let's go to Omar Jimenez, out front live, outside that George Washington Bridge bus station where the suspect was last seen. Omar, at this point, this is potentially a major break of some sort to show at what point he may have left, the time that he may have left New York City.
Yes, Kristen. Yes, correct.
Though presents a big challenge because even with all the new details about where this person has been and how this person made their way all the way to this bus terminal, of course, with this person being seen entering and buses continually coming in and out, the question is what bus did this person potentially get on, and of course who this person is as well. And you also mentioned a really key detail as a target for law enforcement over the course of this. Where was this backpack that the shooter was seen wearing at the time of the shooting? It's part of why they launched a pretty huge canvas throughout Central Park to try and figure out where this is. Well, now law enforcement believe they have found that backpack, which they had said was critical because not just of what could potentially be inside, potential clues, but also potential opportunities for DNA and fingerprinting. They're taking that bag for additional testing just to make sure it's the bag they're looking for. But again, as I mentioned, even with all of these new details, those two critical questions remain. Who is this person and where could they be now?
So
if you guys want, you guys know that I've been doing photography, editing for many years. If you want, just like Savannah Soto, Madeline Soto, Gabby Tito, I can open up all his pictures raw that was taken by the police, and I can edit it right here just to enhance it, just to show you that it's the same person. Let me know if you guys want me to do that, okay? Have you hit the follow button? Have you hit the like button? Have you hit the share button? If you haven't, this is the perfect time to do that. Thank you, guys.
let's go now to the former Boston Police Commissioner Ed Davis. He was in charge during the manhunt for the Boston Marathon bombing suspects, the Tsarnaev brothers. Also here, David Sarney, retired NYPD detective, and Kate Schweit. She was a senior official with the FBI who created the FBI's active shooter unit. All right, so you all know more than anybody, a group here. So let me start with you, Ed. How big, let me just show you the photo again of the backpack that ABC News had obtained. So this is the photo that they've put out, the backpack that they say they found in Central Park. They say they believe it is the same one that the assassin wore when he killed Brian Thompson. So if this is indeed the backpack, how big of a break do you think it could be, Ed?
Hi, Aaron. It could be enormous. It all depends on what is inside there as a start, right? Is the gun in there? If the gun's there, it's going to tell us a lot about where it came from, tracking it back, possibly finding out who purchased it or its history.
Let me know if you guys want me to take a trip to Central Park tomorrow. We could probably find something else. They found that backpack literally today. I can go tomorrow. I can go live around 3 p.m. in the afternoon, nice and light outside. We'll go. We'll look to see if we find more clues. Let me know if you guys think about that. I'm actually very serious about that. Let me know. I was at Brian Thompson where he got shot, but I could not go live. If you know why, you know why I couldn't go live. But let me know. We'll do a Novacity exclusive, maybe for members, maybe members only. It's up to you guys, members. Let me know if you want me to go public with that video. It's up to the members because they do get that saying. Let me know.
There are pieces of clothing in there that he wore for an extended period of time. Even more DNA can be recovered from that. Hairs, fibers, fingerprints, all of those things are likely to be found on something like a backpack, which is really tight to the suspect's body.
It is.
Just the rubbing of the neck could turn skin cells and DNA from that. So they'll also run down where the backpack came from. So there's an enormous amount of evidence potentially there.
So, David, can I ask you, though, on this, right? You know, so even if it, as Ed's talking about, rushes the back of the neck and you get the skin cells, you get all of that, then what? And I guess why I'm asking this is if he hadn't committed a crime in the past, how much does that DNA tell you? I mean, I suppose once you eventually get his name, you can match it to him. But I mean, now in this time trying to identify him, how much does the DNA help if that DNA isn't in a legal system somewhere?
Well, here's the issue with DNA, and DNA is a great way of identification for individuals.
Yeah.
But if it's not in the system, it's not in a database, we still have data, we still have abilities to test it further. DNA analysis has gotten much better in the present day. There's other ways in which we can get at least a match. Maybe there's an opportunity. We may not get a hit, which is a hit meaning you have an identified individual in this, but it's in the database. We'll have something, and you can compare it to other DNA evidence or DNA analysis for possible family members that may have been perpetrators in crimes. So there is opportunity there. Nothing, as far as evidence is concerned, should ever be taken away or removed. It is always probative until it's deemed not.
So Kate, let me ask you about then identifying who he is, because, you know, when you potential family members, things like that. So the clear picture of the suspect's face, and we just heard the commissioner of New York Police, you heard her describe that as sort of the one money shot that they have. That's it, when he was flirting with the woman checking him in at the hostel. So that's when that smiling picture was taken. That picture has been out, though, now for more than 30 hours, just to be blunt about the amount of time. Are you surprised, Kate, that he has not yet been identified?
Not from the fact that the picture is out there and somebody hasn't called and said, hey, that's my cousin Bruce. Because I think that it's easy for us sometimes in law enforcement or even in the media to think everybody's seeing everything all the time. But
Chat, you think I should go to the Starbucks on my way to Central Park? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Brian, he rest in peace, I don't know what he did, to Central Park, and then we can go up to the Starbucks. I can do that tomorrow. Let me know.
you know, if you're at home taking care of, you know, a sick kid, or you're taking care of your Nana who's in hospice, and you know you're on vacation, you're out of the country, you're not going to see it. It's good. It takes time to get a picture out and really feel like you saturated the country with it. So I think that there's still some time to go, and I do think that it's a picture that the pictures that should be shared, they're fantastic pictures when it comes to law enforcement having to be able to have a great opportunity for a photo. I mean, we've arrested bank robbers, we've arrested plenty of people with less than that in pictures. Those are great pictures to be able to put out.
So, Ed, just to this question of knowing, I mean, right now the New York police are saying they don't know his name. That's what they're telling us. How long was it before you knew the Boston bomber? I mean, I guess, how long did it take you to find out their names? But then also, how long from when you knew their names did you actually admit to the public that you knew their names?
Right. So we had a good photo of them, but it took a good 12 hours before anyone was able to identify them. And frankly, no one identified them and cooperated with the police through the photos alone. Their positive ID came from fingerprints after the shootout. So what happened was they had friends who recognized them, but actually tried to cover their tracks and destroyed evidence and things like that. Those people were prosecuted. So there may be people that recognize them, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to call the police right away.
David, when we talk about that George Washington Bridge bus terminal, 1,000 buses a day out of Upper Manhattan going out, and obviously, now that it would have been days since he's gone, so he could be anywhere. But you think it's possible that the NYPD is telling the world that he's out of the city, which they are. They're saying they saw him go in, they didn't see him come out, so they presume he left. That's how they're putting it. But you think, in fact, he may still be in New York City, and in fact, they may think that themselves. Tell me how that's how you get there.
Well, you know what? You don't always want to, lay out your cards. You could put this out as disinformation, trying to lay aside people's fears or people who might know this individual, that he's out of the city. We don't know directly. We believe he is. To put it out there isn't wrong to do, but this also can, in fact, work for the police, because even though you're saying that, doesn't necessarily mean you may believe that. And let me tell you, detectives are scouring that G-Dub. We'll call it the G-Dub, the train station, that station there, the bus station, scouring it for anyone who might have seen him or spoke to him anywhere. And that's the benefit of, we at least know where he's been. We may not know where he's gone, but we know where he's been. And let me tell you, that will be scoured.
What they should be thinking is anything he touches, how was he able to touch? For instance, he was on a bike. How did he get that bike? How did he acquire it? How did he acquire that bike? How? That's what they should do. You can pay for bikes in New York City. You can pay for it with your card, and it'll unlock. Literally, you can get bikes and scooters right off the street. Fast, easy transportation. That's why nobody really buys a car in New York City. You don't need a car. So what they should be doing is where he ended up and where he was and what route could he take. And then you look through all those routes. If he ditched the bike, if the bike was still there, he had to go on foot. His means of transportation was what? Nothing that was connected to him. It was all things that anybody could get. It is accessible. That's what they really should be doing. Look at the name of that bike. Look at the name of that bike, put out ads, and then see how he acquired that bike. Anything he touched that was around him, surrounding him, that connects to him. That's a very good idea.
That we will exploit the evidence there exponentially.
And Kate, in the context of he's on the run somehow, and he made plans, he made mistakes, but he has made plans, right? But we know so far one thing that's been consistent is cash everywhere. Right? Cash everywhere. So if it's
exactly cash. Okay, that was very good. Cintron, I can actually see your comment and that beautiful green badge.
It's cash everywhere, then there's a certain finite amount of, who knows, right? You run into against the clock here. How long do you think this goes on? And do you think it ends with apprehending the assassin?
Yeah, I think it does end with apprehending. I mean, there's a couple of aspects to that, right? I mean, if you get the guy's name and you release the name, then he knows that we're after him. Police lose their advantage of trying to kind of sneak up on him if he goes back to see family or friends. He might commit suicide. So as long as we think that we can find him and we're getting closer and closer to him from a law enforcement standpoint, we want to be able to do that and can do it in as short of order. Obviously, a fugitive investigation can take hours and it can take days and weeks and months. Yeah. But I think that they'll catch up with him. It's a question of having that opportunity to identify him, and that's where we need the public's help.
Kate, David, Ed, thanks very much to all of you. And let's go to Donnie Scott now from Idemia, a company that provides facial recognition technology to law enforcement agencies and also help with the hunt for the Boston Marathon bombers. So, Donnie, just
Wow.
Just trying to understand where we are here. The NYPD is still looking for him. At this point, from what they've told us, he could be anywhere, because if he got in one of those buses and left New York.
Now, I know people in the comments are talking about the wife. What do you guys think about the wife?
At this point, he could be anywhere in the United States. Is the picture that you see here, this one and the one where he's smiling, is there any facial recognition technology that you're aware of at this point that could identify a person from these two images?
Yeah, Aaron, great opportunity to be here. Very much appreciate it. I mean, they've been calling it all night with you the money shot, right? That is a very good image from a quality perspective to match a face to. If you look at any of the leading biometric providers that build facial recognition technologies, they would say that odds are if that image were in the database, we would match against it.
And what is, okay, so now let's talk about what in the database means. So first of all, I'm presuming you're talking about in the database of somebody who has committed a crime before, right? In that database, you can run that one. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, most Americans may believe that law enforcement has images on everybody in the United States. That's very much not true.
Sure, it's a conspiracy theory on X.
Exactly right. And so if he happens to not be a resident of New York, who happens to not have been arrested before, odds are he's not going to be in their criminal database or their mugshot repository. And so what's likely happening across all law enforcement is they're looking for this image in their local systems to see if this perpetrator exists in their galleries.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so there's that. Then there's, well, and this is the world we do live in. We all have images of ourselves on our driver's license. If you have a passport, the third of Americans who do, that it exists there. There are places that someone's image would exist. How hard is it for them to run against those? I mean, that I would imagine is a legal permissioning process. Is that not fast?
That's correct. It's a legal permissioning process. Mm-hmm. The state of New York does not have access to the DMV database for law enforcement purposes by statute. And so it requires cooperation and information sharing and a reason and willingness by the respective agencies to be allowed to share that by law, and then put the systems and processes in place that allow them to share that information.
So, last night when John Miller and I were here speaking, he was saying that some of the recognition technology, in some senses, the human eye, and he's still sitting here, so correct me if I'm wrong, but the human eye can look at an image like that and say, I know that guy, in some ways better than a recognition software, which really is enhanced when a hood goes down or you actually get a full image of a face. Is that a concern that you have at this point? I mean, is it possible that the kind of hits, for lack of a better word, that you would get off those two images that we have are still just way too plentiful to yield a real, this is who it is?
Yeah, our job is really to make law enforcement's job easier. If you think about the real basis and use of facial recognition technologies, it's to sift through the millions and millions of images to get it down to a small subset that the expert can use to make the identification. Face is not a fingerprint. It's not DNA. It's not used for affirmative match. It's used to get to a small enough number where that expert can say, yes, I believe we have an investigative lead here. What other evidence may we have that can match this person to the crime?
It's really fascinating that you say that. I mean, because yes, I understand intellectually, of course, what you're saying, right? It's not DNA, it's not a fingerprint. But of course, as a human being, face is everything, right? In terms of recognizing a human being. But so it's important you explain that.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And the other use in this case, which many of your experts have talked about, is if we don't know who that person is, how can we track them across the various streams of video that come in from the public? And so we may not know who the perpetrator is, but we can use the same set of technologies to know that perpetrator has been in these 7 video streams doing across this series of time, doing these activities. So whether it's the face, the backpack, the hat, those can also be used with the same technologies to track the perpetrator across multiple streams.
Which is a huge point, because obviously so much faster than someone sitting there watching it and blinking and missing it when it happens. You actually find it with the print.
What used to take us days and weeks is now in minutes and seconds.
It's incredible, and we'll see what that means for when this individual is found, if or when. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your taking the time.
The chief of detectives Kenny telling the New York Times that investigators are looking into the possibility those shells may have been used in what is known as a veterinary gun. This is a photo of it, a larger firearm used on farms and ranches. Chief Kenny saying, quote, if an animal has to get put down, the animal can be shot without the weapon causing a large noise. There's a suppressor on it. Again, New York's 2 top police officials spoke today with CNN's Shimon Prokupecz, who joins us now from the Upper West Side of Manhattan, where authorities believe the suspect caught that cab uptown to the bus station. So the backpack that the NYPD found, believed to belong to the gunman, what more do we know about how they found it? Where exactly was it? And what happens now?
Well, it was during our interview with the police commissioner that we learned that they were actually back in Central Park doing a secondary search. And it was during that secondary search at around 5 p.m. or so that they found the backpack. And then what they did, as you said, Anderson, is once they located, the officers located it, they brought in teams, they used an excavator so as to not disturb any of the contents, not to mess with anything that could be on there, like DNA or other evidence. And so then they removed it, not to disturb anything inside. They even took dirt from the ground with it, and now it's all being processed by lab technicians at the NYPD.
So not only would the contents inside perhaps hold some DNA, if the gun is actually inside the bag itself, there could even be DNA, I guess, on the shoulder straps. If he sweated onto the bag, he was carrying that around a lot.
Right, there could be any kind of DNA perhaps on there. You know, also given the proximity of him to the victim, you know, you never know, Anderson. There could be blood on there. There could be other things. It's just very hard to know right now what other items could possibly be on the bag. And so this is why they want to be so careful in removing it. You know, they had spent some time searching for it days ago after this shooting. And now today, finally, the NYPD decided, let's go back. And in our interview today with the NYPD, you know, we spoke at length about this investigation, where it's at, and what they are doing to try and locate the suspect. Take a listen.
Where are we in the investigation? Where is this guy? Who is this guy?
So I'll start by saying we have every reason to believe that this was a targeted attack on an individual rather than a random act of violence on New York City streets. We do have a person of interest in the case, and we have released the photo yesterday. We would appreciate you getting that photo out to your audience, because we also have reason to believe that the person in question has left New York City. So we want a wider audience to see the picture outside of New York City.
Okay, so that's new information. And what is that based on? Why do you believe that this person has left New York City?
So we have our perpetrator leaves the Hilton Hotel after the incident takes place. We have them getting on a bicycle and riding into Central Park. We then later pick him up on 77th Street, exiting the park on Central Park West, still with the bicycle. Eventually, we have him on 86th Street and Columbus Avenue, walking. He loses the bike. And then from there, we have him in a taxi cab, and the taxi cab takes him up to 178th Street and Broadway, which, as we know, is a Port Authority bus center. Those buses are interstate buses. That's why we believe he may have left New York City.
And do you know what bus he got on, where that bus was going?
We're working into that, and we're looking into that now. It's a very busy bus terminal. We want to make sure we have the right bus, but we're working through that right now. It's all new information.
I want to get back to that quickly, but because this is new information, I think it's important for New York City residents certainly to know that this individual is no longer, you believe he's no longer
We
here.
said we have reason to believe he's no longer in New York
And
City.
that, I assume, is based on video of...
We have video of him entering the Port Authority bus terminal. We don't have any video of him exiting, so we believe he may have gotten on a bus.
Okay, and we don't know what bus
No,
this
not at
person...
this time.
I want to ask, the photo from the hostel, you do believe that is the alleged suspect, correct? At the desk, you do believe. Do you believe he's wearing different clothing than from what he wore during the commission of the murder?
The appearance from when he's checking into the hostel at the desk, obviously it's only a headshot. It appears that he's wearing the same hooded jacket that he was wearing the day of the incident.
You've been at this a long time. How planned was this? The resources that were involved in this? What's your sense of this?
My sense of this is that he definitely planned this out. He arrived in New York City, obviously, before the incident took place. We have him on video prior to the incident for almost a half an hour walking and wandering around the hotel area.
Yo, it's so crazy that I actually know where this is at. That's like, it's crazy to see this like on my screen where I live. Like it's crazy. That's crazy.
Before he committed this act. So, do I think it was planned? Yes, I do. Just in the mere fact that he knew what time the victim was going to be walking by. He knew what hotel this conference was going to be in.
And he's been traveling and walking around the streets of New York City, largely in a mask with his face covered. We had to go through lots of video evidence to get that one money shot of him with the mask down.
There's been a lot of speculation about the type of gun, how he fired. Did it jam? Did it not jam? What's your sense on that now?
Oh, it did. Oh, did you see that? Did you? Who saw that? Oh, I never even caught that, dude. And I'm the podcaster. What? How I didn't see? Did I not see that? Is it in my notes? It's not. Yo. What?
How he
of him with the mask down.
There's been a lot of speculation about the type of gun, how he fired. Did it jam? Did it not jam? What's your sense on that now?
He banged it twice.
And what kind of a gun?
He cocked it back again.
Do you believe was used here?
We really won't be able to confirm that until we seize that gun. But from talking to people,
he did it again. This man is not professional. Come on. You know what? I'm gonna start right now. I'm gonna start a poll. Do you guys think he's a professional? I'm gonna start a poll. My Facebook people, you gotta head to YouTube to answer the poll. You guys on my Facebook, you know my YouTube channel. You can head over there real quick just to answer the poll. Do you think he's a professional? The poll is over at YouTube.
That are familiar with firearms, it appears that either there was a malfunction in the gun that he was clearing, or it's a specific type of gun that's a bolt action gun that he was ejecting rounds as he was reloading the gun.
And Anderson, one of the things that they told me that a lot of the investigators are doing, they're sitting in rooms watching video, sometimes for hours and hours, just looking for the smallest of clip to try and locate where he may have been. Now, obviously, that they believe that he's out of New York City, the manhunt continues, and it's going to take a lot more resources now to try and find him. They're going through video at the bus depot in Upper Manhattan here to try and figure out what bus he got on. That's the big question now. What bus did he get on to get out of here, and where did he go?
Shimon Prokupez, appreciate it. Thanks. Joining us now is former FBI agent Scott Curtis, also CNN national security analyst Julia Kayyem, and CNN chief law enforcement and intelligence analyst John Miller. John, obviously a lot of new developments today. The idea, first of all, on this gun is interesting. The idea that it could be a veterinary or a gun that veterinarians use.
Yeah. What Chief Kenny is talking about is after this assassination, the NYPD went to its firearms experts and said, what is this gun with this enormous silencer? And they examined it closely. It's a blurry shot, but they also looked at the way he was manipulating the weapon. And they said, that looks like the B&T VP9.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Whoa, wait a minute. Oh, my God. What the hell? This is an assassin's weapon. Wait a minute. Hold on. Time out. This sounds okay. This. Okay, well, okay, this is new information. What the hell? We know it had a silencer on it. We knew since the thing happened, What the hell? This is okay.
Closely, it's a blurry shot, but they also looked at the way he was manipulating the weapon, and they said, that looks like the B&T VP9. Now, as you see, it has this large extended silencer that is screwed onto a threaded, rather short barrel. But the way the gun works is you fire it with that trigger, and then it doesn't automatically load the next round.
Yeah, you got to do it.
You have to pull back on the rear of that slide, and then let it go to eject one round and feed the next in. If we look at that videotape taken during the actual shooting, you see him fire the gun, he's pulling back, firing the gun.
I see. So it's
pulling
not
back.
necessarily that it jammed per se.
Right. So that's the question. And here's the investigative conundrum, which is he's manipulating that gun that appears to be this, kind of assassin's weapon. But they also found shell casings on the ground, but they also found live rounds. So the question is, was he familiar enough with the working of the weapon?
Right.
Did he?
It does look like in the second, there's, if we re-rack it, he fires, he does it, he fires, he like there, and then he fires, and then he seems to like tap it 2 or 3 times.
Right. So either he's undergoing a malfunction because he doesn't know how that weapon works, or, it's a blurry shot. It may be another weapon, even a ghost gun with a large suppressor or silencer.
Scott, what do you make
on the
of it?
end?
Like you mentioned, either there was a malfunction where he was doing the drill tap rack ready to cycle another round in there, or he got overzealous and he cycled 2 rounds there instead of just pulling it back and letting one round cycle into the chamber.
Okay.
But there's a weird cultural thing here. You wouldn't be committing a professional murder with a veterinary's gun, but this gun is based on the design of something called the well rod. And even going back to the British and the Allied forces in World War II in the 1940s, the well rod was the assassin's weapon. When you fire it with that suppressor, you get a sound like a book hitting a table in a library.
And the idea why a vet would have that is so that it doesn't disturb, other animals.
Exactly. It's practically silent. It's a significant round. It's a 9mm round. And it's
this is crazy. Yo, this got more crazy. Okay, maybe, hey, chat, you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking maybe that there's more to those bullets. Deny, defend, dispose, whatever. There's more to that. Maybe everything that this guy is doing is for a reason. Think about it. If those bullets were premeditated, weapon used for what? On the farm? Animals? Maybe there's more to this, because if this is personal, will this person only just write letters? Maybe they'll do just a little more to give you enough clues for him to tell you all a message of why I did this. Not, hey, it's me, but why did I do this? Figure that out yourself. It's interesting. This is very good video. This is a very good video. Very informative. Let's keep it going. Facebook, let's see how many shares we did. We got over 100 people on Facebook, and how many shares? YouTube. We just need 40 more likes, YouTube. Just 40 more likes, and we'll hit our main goal. 40 more likes, my people. Let's get to it.
Moments before the backpack was found, our producer, Anna DiGregorio, was in the park on a pedicab bike. She was retracing the gunman's path, and she saw the searching, and she shot this video that you won't see anywhere else. They were hot on the tail of that backpack, I'm telling you. We also have exclusive never-before-seen security video here of the gunman wearing that backpack just seconds before he dumped it. Not only that, but this is the first video that we have seen of the killer riding his electric bike into Central Park minutes after the shooting. He's just sitting there at the red light. See him there waiting for the cars to stop? How many minutes after the shooting? This is a bit of a question mark, because police say that UnitedHealthcare CEO, Brian Thompson, he was gunned down at 6:44 or 6:45 a.m. But look at that timestamp. This newly uncovered video of the suspect entering the park is timestamped 6:45, which means that the shooting may have actually happened a few minutes earlier than reported. This security video, we have it on authority. They say it is the right time. We asked. Trust me. Is it possible your camera's off? The new video includes different angles, too, of the suspect riding up 6th Avenue.
Well, I know where I'm going tomorrow. Okay, I got the map. We're gonna head here tomorrow, chat. I know exactly where this is. The Apple Store is right there. That's where 5th Avenue is. That's where going out 59th on the south side. And yep, I know exactly where this is.
Coming to that stop sign. He passes 58th Street, then 59th Street.
This is 58th Street. You see this dot right here? You see that little dot right there where my mouse is? That's 58th. This is 59th right here where my mouse is. If you see it, that's 59th.
Street, then darts across 59th Street, and that's where he enters into the blackness.
Right here.
Of Central Park.
He enters into Central Park. So around this time, 6 something is getting dark. It's not black, but it's getting like very dark because we are in December. So it gets dark. The darkest it gets is at the end of January, near middle end. It gets very dark at early. So at that time in December, 2 days ago on the 4th, it's like 6. It's getting way like it's when it hits 7 o'clock. It's black. It's black. Yeah, yeah.
It's where he kind of goes dark, but not necessarily. In the first angle, I want to show you, you can see him riding up 6th and stopping to wait at the red light in front of the park entrance. So there he is. You can just, like the words, Wednesday, 6:45 a.m. are just kind of over him, but you can see him just sitting there at the stoplight waiting for the traffic to stop. At the other side of that red light, that's the entrance to the park, and it's like home free, right? In a next angle, we get a closer view of him stopping at the same stoplight, and you can see he's still got that gray backpack. Look at that. You can see he's flying through pretty quick, but he's still got it on. And a third angle, this time from the front, shows him heading into the park as well. So we got all of these unique angles that I am 100% sure, there he goes, right into the park, along Park Drive. NYPD have combed all through this. And we also know that 15 minutes later, he was spotted leaving Central Park on the park's west side at 77th. So
no backpack.
Well, think about it. He's at 59th right there. Now he's at 77th right there, minus the gray backpack. But it does not take 15 minutes, folks. To make that on that quick bike, you could do it in a few. So he stopped to do some things.
Wait, what is she? Ashley, wait, what are you saying? How, to get to where? Wait, Ashley, what are you talking about? Hold on. What did she say?
Things. Did he change his clothes? Did he get rid of it? Do it in a few. So he's 77th right there, minus the gray backpack. But it does not take 15 minutes, folks. To make that on that quick bike, you could do it in a few.
She's right. It doesn't. From 59 to 77, it on an electric bike, because if you go inside Central Park, it could take you 5 to 7 minutes. No, yeah, 5 to 10 minutes. 15 minutes, that's perfect timing. I think that's perfect. 59th. On the right side, there's an opening. It curves left. That's true. It goes up. If you exit on the east side, you have to cross across. Okay.
So he stopped to do some things.
And the time frame that I'm thinking of what he did, this is coordinated. 15 minutes. This is coordinated because he knew exactly where to get the bike and where to go. Ooh. He acquired that bike so quickly. If the shooting took place at 6:45, he's already on 58th to 59th. To get to be on 6:59, he's already on 77th. He knows where to. So it was coordinated, but he's sloppy. There it goes. I got it.
Did he change his clothes? Did he get rid of other evidence anywhere? He did some things. He definitely got rid of the backpack. After this video of him getting off out of Central Park, they say he took a turn on 86th and Columbus. I actually used to live right there, so it's kind of weird. And all of it.
Ashley used to live next to me. Oh, Ashley. This is why we have so much in common. She knows her shit. I was wondering because her timing was off, but she's actually correct. It just takes you about 15, yeah. About that, like, it takes you about 5 to 10 minutes.
All of a sudden, he didn't have the bike. Now the bike is gone. And he gets in a taxi. And he takes that taxi way north, miles, to the Port Authority bus station, way up at 100.
Okay, so he doesn't have the taxi at 86th Street in Columbus. I know exactly where that is. We're going to go there tomorrow as well. Will you guys be with me streaming live on Novacity on Facebook, people? It's going to be for YouTube only. I tell my Facebook people, go to YouTube. Just go to YouTube. Just go. I have to because it's just better quality. If it buffers, it stays live. And Facebook is like, they're just not doing it right for creators right now. They need to work on their page. They will ban me. They will flag me for any little thing. I can say butt cheek and they'll flag me. It's ridiculous. Head to YouTube and subscribe. Head over there.
78th Street and Broadway. Now, if you know New York and if you know your landmarks, it is right near the famous George Washington Bridge.
Correct.
Here's the problem. Don't know where he went after that, but police say there is no video of him leaving the Port Authority, so they assume he got on a bus. And the buses stopping there are interstate lines. So cops are assuming he is out of the city, maybe even out of the state as well.
Thanks for watching.
That was interesting. That's very good. I'm going to keep this video because we are going to be talking about that tomorrow. Let's get it.
Headline: the massive search underway for the man who shot and killed the UnitedHealthcare CEO at point blank range. We're 36 hours into the urgent manhunt, and at this time, no one is in police custody. But we are getting more clues into the investigation. Take a look at these images released of what police are describing as a person of interest. He's wanted for questioning in connection to the targeted attack. That murder unfolding in busy Midtown Manhattan yesterday morning. The shooter, you see him here, methodically hunting down CEO Brian Thompson just as he was headed to an investors meeting. Police revealing today that the killer left behind a message. The words, quote, deny, defend, and depose.
I want you in the chat right now to tell me what do you think this means? What do you think this means? Deny, defend, depose. What do you think this means? What do you think it means? Deny. He is a CEO of oh my God, I'm sorry, of a health insurance company. Deny, but then defend sounds like maybe you got denied of something. Did a close loved one pass away? Are you dying? Guy with the gun? Who are you defending? Because if you think about it, his job has to do with something with approval or deny, but then defend. There's a weapon involved. So who are you defending? You see, Brian is a CEO. This guy, what was he denied of? What was he denied of? What was he denied of? Some type of insurance? Did he feel like he was defending someone he loved or himself? Think about that for a second, chat. Because depose means to remove. Depose. It means to remove somebody like officially, right? I think it means to remove someone of status or something like that. Depose. And look at that. You know what? That makes so much sense. Deny, defend, depose. They all, I know I'm overlooking at it, but they all start with D-E, D-E, D-E. But if you go, I'm looking at it in a way of you start with F, N-O-P. So defend, deny, depose. Oh my God. Yo. No, it doesn't mean, no, depose means when you remove somebody. When you remove somebody forcefully. Like, that's what depose mean. Right? When you remove somebody from, let me Google it. I know I'm right. Remove from office suddenly and forcefully. Correct. Yo, think about that. Think about this. Look at it in a way where it's in order. Defend, deny, depose. So whatever happened, but he just got in there. It was purposely. He wanted to be so purposely. I got to figure this out. I want to figure this out.
Written on shell casings found at the scene. We're going to break down the possible meaning in just a moment. All of this as we piece together the suspect's movements. We know he bought a water bottle and protein bars at a Starbucks just before the shooting. He then made his way to the Hilton Hotel where he shot Thompson and then took off on an electric bike into Central Park. But now police are directing their attention to a hostel where they believe this person of interest was staying. Detectives reportedly searching one of the rooms there. And the information just in tonight, we're just learning new details about where the suspect may have traveled from and how he got here to New York. NBC's Sam Brock has the latest.
New images tonight show the full face of a hooded man the NYPD is calling a person of interest, wanted for questioning in connection with Wednesday's ambush and early morning killing of UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson. A law enforcement source confirming to NBC News the images were captured at this hostel on Manhattan's Upper West Side, where, according to an eyewitness, the man in the photo shared a room with two strangers and checked out on Wednesday. One guest, who says she did not share the same room, saw police arrive last night around 6:30.
It makes you second guess who you're actually staying in a hostel with, so it's quite scary that we could have been in the same room.
The search for a killer hinging on an emerging network of crucial camera images, as police are now probing whether this Nest video, taken less than 15 minutes after the murder, could be the shooter. The footage showing the rider on a bike just outside of Central Park, 30 blocks north of the scene of the crime, where Wednesday a gunman approached the 50-year-old CEO walking toward an investor conference alone at 6:45 in the morning and gunned down the father of two, firing shots into his back and leg right in front of the Midtown Hilton Hotel. Video obtained by the New York Times also shows a person resembling the shooter walking roughly 175 feet from the scene of the crime 10 minutes before Thompson was shot, appearing to talk on the phone. Clint Watts is a former FBI special agent.
Knowing that the shooter was on the phone talking to somebody else definitely changes the way the investigation goes. Possibly someone knew the shooting was about to happen, or he was maybe calling someone for the last time, or it could be part of a larger plot.
Shell cases from the shooting, now also a key focal point of the investigation. Overnight, a senior...
I know to you it means that, but I was, look. Depose. Remove from office subtly and forcefully. That explains it right there. That's it. That's it, you know? I think that's it.
New York City law enforcement official briefed on the investigation, telling NBC that the three casings recovered on scene had the words deny, defend, and depose written on them. A possible reference to a 2010 book.
Delay, deny, defend.
Critical of the
why insurance companies don't pay claims and what you can do. Bro! Yo. Hold on real quick. Hold on. Oh, I got a Pokemon pack. Hey, delay, deny, defend, that book on why insurance companies don't pay claims and what you can do. I want you to sum that up for me and give me an explanation of what that's about and what the intent of the literary, the reader is supposed to capture.
Delay, Deny, Defend by J.M. Feynman is a critical look at how insurance companies often handle claims. The book argues that insurers prioritize their own profits over the interests of policyholders, employing strategies to delay, deny, or defend against paying out claims. These tactics can include requiring excessive paperwork, interpreting policies in the company's favor, and prolonging the claims process to wear down policyholders. The intent of the book is to raise awareness about these practices and empower readers with knowledge on how to navigate the insurance landscape more effectively. Feynman aims to inform policyholders about their rights and provide strategies for effectively challenging insurance companies when claims are unfairly handled.
So, how does this affect someone? Like, what does this have to do with the people who are reading this book, who has insurance, who wants insurance? Like, what does this book what is it gauging to tell the audience?
Delay, Deny, Defend is relevant to anyone with insurance or looking to get insured. The book aims to educate readers about potential pitfalls in dealing with insurance companies. It sheds light on the tactics insurers may use to avoid paying out claims, which can affect policyholders financially and emotionally. For people who already have insurance, the book provides insight into how to better protect themselves and their interests when filing claims. For those considering insurance, it offers guidance on what to look for in a policy and how to choose a reputable insurer.
So if someone was to get this insurance, but they were denied the payout for them, how can that affect the person with this insurance?
If someone has insurance and their claim is denied, it can have several impacts. Financially, they might face significant out-of-pocket expenses for losses or damages they believed would be covered. This can strain their budget or even lead to debt if the costs are high. Emotionally, dealing with a denied claim can be stressful and frustrating, especially if the person feels the denial is unjust. It can erode trust in the insurance company and create anxiety about future coverage. In some cases, it might also lead to legal battles if the person decides to challenge the denial, which can be costly and time-consuming. Overall, a denied claim can have serious financial and emotional consequences for the policyholder.
Right, but can this also deny someone of any form of medical treatment in any way?
Yes, if an insurance claim denial involves health insurance, it can indeed affect access to medical treatment. If a claim for a necessary medical procedure or treatment is denied, the patient may have to delay or forego that treatment due to the high out-of-pocket costs. This can lead to worsening health conditions or the need for more intensive care later on. Additionally, the stress of dealing with a denied claim can impact a person's mental health. In such situations, it becomes crucial for the patient to know their rights, understand their insurance policy, and explore options such as appeals or alternative funding sources.
Okay, now listen. Now, I want you to tell me, UnitedHealthcare, what do they offer to people? What type of healthcare?
UnitedHealthcare is one of the largest health insurance companies in the United States, offering a variety of health insurance plans and services. These include employer-sponsored plans, health insurance plans provided through an employer, which can include a range of options like HMOs, PPOs, and high-deductible health plans. Individual and family plans, health insurance for individuals and families, available through the health insurance marketplace or directly from UnitedHealthcare. 3. Medicare plans, including Medicare Advantage plans, Medicare Supplement Insurance, and Medicare Part D prescription drug plans. 4. Medicaid plans. UnitedHealthcare offers Medicaid plans in several states, providing coverage for low-income individuals and families.
I'm going to cut you over. So with these things in mind of what I just asked you, I want you to answer me this. With the book that we just finished talking about, plus with that company, if someone was denied anything, they would be denying health insurance, correct?
Yes. If a claim is denied by UnitedHealthcare, it would mean they're denying coverage for a specific healthcare service, treatment, or procedure. This could impact the policyholder's ability to access the medical care they need, especially if the treatment is costly. It's essential for policyholders to understand their policy details and know how to appeal a denial if it happens.
Boom! Boom! Done. Clock it. Click it.
Insurance industry. There are also new revelations about the minutes before the murder, with an official telling NBC the gunman not only stopped at a Starbucks near the crime scene, but also bought several items, including a water bottle and 2 energy bars, which were then discarded.
The Starbucks purchases are a great opening for law enforcement to get on top of who the perpetrator is. It could be some sort of physical evidence, a fingerprint, maybe even some sort of DNA that they can trace.
The targeted killing now raising new questions across the insurance industry about security. With Thompson, a highly paid executive in a sector frequently facing frustration and even outrage, walking alone from his nearby hotel. Recent corporate statements from UnitedHealth don't reveal personnel security expenses for executives. The company hasn't responded to questions about what resources were or were not deployed for Thompson. It comes after his wife, Paulette, telling NBC News Wednesday there had been some threats against her husband, adding basically, I don't know, a lack of coverage, I don't know details. In the family's hometown outside Minneapolis, the police department told NBC News they had no record of any such reports.
What? That should have been logged. That should have been logged.
The staggering and still unfolding murder and manhunt has left a city and industry stunned.
Okay, Sam Brock joins Top Story tonight live from outside that hostel in New York City. Sam, talk to us about this new information that's just come in, the details about how the suspect got to New York City and where he was traveling from.
Yeah, Tom, this is pretty fascinating. So 3 senior law enforcement officials tell NBC they are now operating under the belief the suspect came from Atlanta to New York on a Greyhound bus, Tom, arriving November the 24th. So there's a number of important pieces of information here. First of all, the passenger ticket list, if they're able to find a name there that matches up with some form of identification police already have, it's not clear if they've identified the suspect so far or not. And we do know that just with respect to this hostel, it appears that he used a fake ID. But also November 24th, that was 10 to 11 days before this crime was committed. The staging, the planning, what kind of information can be gleaned from that? And then did he come from Atlanta? Is there a whole thread of the suspect's background that now needs to be explored there as well? So many layers to this, a crucial piece of information coming in, Tom, late tonight.
Yeah, and it sounds like police may know now who they're looking for. All right, Sam, we appreciate all that. To break down the latest evidence we have in this case and where that manhunt goes from here, I want to welcome back John Monahan, a retired captain with the New York Police Department. John, great to see you. He's also the author of a series of detective novels. His latest is The Guns of Antwerp, NYPD Takes Boston. All right, John, we thank you again. So we're going to go through all the new clues we've gotten tonight. We want to start with what I think maybe is the biggest piece of evidence today, along with those images. Let's start with the bullets, right? Inscribed on the bullet casings: deny, defend, depose. I have 2 questions. First, what do you think these words mean, number 1? And number 2, what does it tell you that the killer wrote something on the shell casings?
A lot of planning. As we heard there, he's been there for a while. He put a lot of planning into this. I'm baffled by the idea that he expected these bullets to be on our crime scene. These are unfired bullets. They only get ejected and land on the ground when you rack the gun to clear a jam. You don't go into a shooting expecting a jam. I did not see it on the video that he took them out of his pocket and dropped them, but those bullets are inside the magazine of the gun. The only way they get produced onto the floor of our crime scene is when he racks that gun 3 times, which he did do to clear a jam. So he puts these words on the bullets and thinks maybe they end up in the crime scene, maybe they don't. Doesn't make any sense. This word, depose, is not from the title of the book. The other 2 are. I would start looking at people who have been sat for depositions recently in the healthcare thing, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it's a lot of planning.
But how do you even write on a bullet casing? I mean, is that something people do?
You can etch it. That's time consuming and it's very, difficult. You can get a permanent marker.
But is he sending a message to people like you? I mean, is he sending a message to investigators saying, I don't know, dropping clues?
Tom, I tell you what, it could be that. It could be a subterfuge to get us to go in that direction if the motive was in another direction.
Yep.
There's a lot of moving parts.
Okay.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Hey, it could be many different ways to look at this. It could be that he's directly telling you, hey, to me, this looks direct because he took one word out of that book and replaced it with depose, which means to remove forcefully. It makes sense because he just got removed from office forcefully. Okay? So, but it can have two meanings to once. It could be, I want you guys to understand why I did this, but I want you to look that way. You understand what I'm saying? This can be a deflection, but it can also be interpreted as a directive. It's always good to be open-minded.
Each silo of this event, there's the personal, the professional, and
The other big piece of evidence, right? Police releasing these images. We want to show them to our viewers, show them to you. Now, police are using the term person of interest. From what we understand, this is protocol by the NYPD. In some cases, they've been saying this is the suspect. In this case, they're calling...
By the way, guys, I don't know how you think this is two different people when the chair is right behind him. It's the same chair. You see the two colors in the picture? Those are called different tint colors. The one on the left is graded correctly towards skin color. The one on the right is the raw footage. You see the difference? Raw, edited, raw, edited, edited, raw. Same person, same guy. Please.
This person, a person of interest here. Talk to me about why they released these two photos. One shows him smiling, one frowning or not smiling.
To show different expressions in the face so we can actually get a nice makeup of the face.
What does this tell us and why do they release these?
Well, we're hoping someone will identify him, not from passing him on the street here in New York, but someone in his life that knows him. That's a face that there's probably 50 people in the world right now that are looking at that picture, and a light bulb goes off and says, I know that man from somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's very helpful. He's a person of interest, not a suspect, for a number of reasons. We're not certain 100% that it's him.
Yeah.
That's a different jacket. I believe it's a different backpack than the Starbucks pictures. It seems like
You're
it's him.
noticing differences, you think?
I do see some differences, but there's enough similarities to consider him a person of interest.
Okay, just before we go to our...
He's saying that because he cannot legally say that it's confirmed it's him. He cannot say that. And I don't think him specifically, he's not working on the case. He's a former NYPD captain, so he cannot say that. He's not it. Do I believe that's the same person? Absolutely, it's the same person. He said that it's a different jacket. It's edited. You can see it right there. It's the same person. So, in conclusion, he's not on the case. He's a former NYPD captain. Do not get misconstrued. Do not.
Our next thing, which is going to be a map, I do want to ask you, they know when he got here, they know where he came from, they know how long he's been here, they have these, do you think they know who this person is?
Not yet.
You still think they don't know who he is?
They're
Not
close.
yet?
They're
Okay.
close.
They're close?
Atlanta could be a subterfuge too.
Okay.
I don't know. You want to take a Greyhound, it depends on.
Right.
From Minnesota, you got to go through Chicago, Cleveland, and Buffalo. Did he go to Atlanta on purpose? I don't know.
Let's go to our map now. I want to show you this because we've learned some more things about where he was at. This is where the shooting takes place. This is the hostel where he was staying, right? It's about 50 blocks north on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. Does this tell you anything at all? He's staying at a hostel again, 50 blocks from the scene of the shooting.
Well, the best way to get from point A to point B here would be by bicycle right through Central Park.
Fastest way.
Fastest way, right through Central Park.
Correct.
There are exits, 85th Street, 90th, 100th Street. Once you pass 100th Street, you got to go up to 110. So the best way to get there would be by bicycle through the park.
He may have used a fake ID. He paid with cash. That he's staying at a hostel. Does that tell you something different?
He's from out of town. That's the first thing I think of. He's from out of town.
Okay.
Now you mentioned the bus from Atlanta. That makes sense. And the hostel, I mean, the nature of a hostel is such that, like your first bullet there, people have stayed in hostels. They bunk you up into a room with others. That doesn't mean he's connected to these men.
Yeah.
They have been interviewed, from what I understand, and cleared.
Right.
So that's not really.
Yeah, he was staying with two other guests. We don't think they're connected. At least police haven't told us that yet. But I mean, they're going to be questioning them, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Earlier today, we also got this Nest video I want to play for our viewers as well. They may have seen this. Police believe this may be the suspect. He's on that bicycle. He's going from 85th Street, Central Park West. Looks like he's likely heading further west. What does this tell you, if anything?
You know, this is the 85th Street exit from Central Park. So if he came up from 59th Street, I don't think he's a New Yorker. He's an out-of-towner. He's staying at a hostel.
Yeah.
Should have stayed in the park till 100th Street.
Yeah.
Or at least 97th Street. But he came out here at 85th. He's heading to Columbus. Next block is Amsterdam, and then it's north to 104th Street.
No longer has the backpack. What does that tell you?
I'm not convinced. Tom, I'm not convinced it's him. Does it look like a city bike? Well, look at the tail.
Apparently,
See the tail on that?
apparently they've gotten.
Y'all, please be careful what. Never mind. Just, he's not on the case. He's not on the case. He is not on this case, okay?
Rid of the city bike thing.
So then what, did he rob someone? We don't have a robbery report?
The backpack, if that is him, he ditched it somewhere.
Yes.
Possibly.
If he ditched.
What the hell? They put him on the show. He doesn't even know about it. What is this? Is a little embarrassing. This is embarrassing. The reporter is literally checking the former captain. Yo, this is, hold on. This is happening? Hold on.
Tom, I'm not convinced it's him. Does it look like a city bike? Well, look at the tail.
Apparently,
See the tail on
apparently they've gotten rid of the city bike thing.
So then what, did he rob someone? We don't have a robbery report?
The backpack, if that is him, he ditched it somewhere. Possibly.
If he ditched that backpack, I can tell you this. In Central Park, we'd have found it.
Okay.
The cops have scoured every.
That's true. But what he's failing to realize is homeless people will pick that shit up. If there is a bike that you ditched, it will be gone. Stop it. No. What are you talking about, my guy? No, he's wrong. Cat, please believe me when I tell you. That's not true. If someone sees a bike that is his ditch right there, someone's going to pick that up. Depending on if it's in if it's in an inclusion area. You know what I'm talking about? But no, somebody would have picked that up and took it. Trust me, it's gone. Swiping, no swipey. Trust me.
Into that park, every blade of grass has been checked.
Okay.
I'm not convinced that's him. It may well be. This is the direction he'd be going in, but.
Okay, let's look at this other one. This is video that the New York Times has obtained. It's him walking near the crime scene. Just before it, he appears to be on a cell phone at the time. Now, obviously, there's two things could be happening here. He could be speaking to someone. It could be fake. He could just be posing. If he is talking to someone, can the police figure out, can they zero in, is there that type of technology from cell phone towers, what the number was, what the cell phone was? Is that possible?
There is. I understand it's a burner phone.
Okay. That's what you understand?
Yes,
okay.
I've heard that. But you can still ping the tower that it went to and take it beyond that as well. You know, last night, Tom, I mentioned the fact that this kid had intelligence information. How did he know when to leave the Starbucks to approach? In other words, how do you know when that... This could be very germane to the investigation, but it could also be he paid someone $100 in a hotel to say, tell me when a man in room such and such leaves the hotel.
Yeah. That part, he is right. That part, he is right. I give him that. Yes, correct.
We don't even know who he's talking to, what information he's getting. Yep. We do need to know, but it could be big, it may not.
Okay, let's go back to the video now of the shooting. We're going to freeze it because we don't want to show you the entire shooting of when it happened. With everything you know today, looking at this video again, does it change anything you told us last night? Does it enlighten us in any other way?
It does, as far as that weapon. He fires that weapon, and it does not jam after the first shot. Yeah. Yet he reaches up to rack that slide. He's not clearing a jam. He fires, racks, fires,
Why
racks.
Why would you do that?
Because it could be a very specific type of pistol that it's like a bolt action.
Like an older pistol?
Well, they have new ones that are made. You see, this looks like a silencer, which actually would be a suppressor, which is a less complicated silencer. A compressor. We call them cans.
Yeah.
But they make pistols with suppressors that are integral to the weapon.
Yeah.
Those weapons have to be racked for each shot. That's what that looks like, because when he fires that shot, it's not like he tries to fire a second time and the gun jams and then he reaches to the rack. He fires, racks, fire.
That seems like it'd be a complicated gun to use. Why would he use that gun?
It's nicknamed an assassin's pistol. It is the quietest.
It's nicknamed an assassin's pistol?
It's
Why?
actually a VP. It's a veterinarian's pistol to put down an animal that is suffering. That's what it's made for.
Okay.
They call it this because it's the quietest gun you can use.
Oh.
Because of the integral suppressor. It's a rare weapon, and I understand they're backtracking to see who supplies it, who made recent purchases.
And we don't know this for sure yet. It
No,
could
not at
be.
all. But
We're
from that
not for
video,
sure, but from what this is what you're thinking. Okay.
that gun doesn't jam.
Yeah.
He reaches up and racks that slide. Tom, we've looked at the words on the bullets. Maybe he's doing it on purpose to jack out the live rounds that have the message. Maybe that's why he's racking it.
Right.
Or it could be a certain type of pistol that needs that to happen.
Yeah. John Monahan, always fascinating to talk to you. We thank you for that. We're going to talk to you probably again a lot in the coming days. We do want to stay on this story and continue on. Brian Thompson's shooting is raising a lot of questions about the motive, right? Especially with those bullets now. Many wondering if the suspect acted out of frustration with the health insurance industry in America. For more on this, we're going to go bring in Bertha Coombs, CNBC's senior healthcare reporter and a good friend of Top Story. Bertha, it's great to see you tonight. So talk to us first about this book that everyone's talking about, right? It's been getting a lot of attention, and some of the words inscribed on the bullets are similar to the title. What do we know about this, right? It's called Delay, Deny, Defend, and people have started to talk about this because it's a book about the healthcare industry.
It's a book about insurance overall, Tom. It was written by a retired law professor, Jay Feinman, back in 2010. In it, he talks about what essentially has become a business strategy, according to him, in the insurance industry overall. He says, quote, the company delays payment of a claim, denies all or part of a valid claim, or aggressively defends litigation that the policyholder is forced to bring in order to get that claim. Now, the book centers a lot on property insurers, but this issue of claims being denied is an increasingly hot button issue when it comes to healthcare. It's one that doctors complain about because they have to file approvals. They get denied. It's created a lot of stress in the healthcare industry. Back in October, a Senate subcommittee on investigations issued a scathing report.
I guess we were. I guess we got it. I guess we got it. We're gonna break this down. We're gonna break this down. I want to get to the root of this. I want to try to figure him out without knowing him, because if he could execute a plan this specific yet sloppy, I mean, he dropped those bullets on purpose, but left a phone and a water bottle. You know. In my mind, I'm like, no, he did that on purpose. No one is that clumsy, but they actually found a thumbprint. That tells me that this could have been an accident. Because why does he want to be found? Why do you have a silencer? Why do you have this specific gun? Why did you travel? Why did you get to the hostel? You took your mask off. Why are you so intricate but yet sloppy at the same time? But yet you had your mask up the whole entire time. You only took it off at Starbucks. Think about that. Think about that.
Detailing mounting denials by Medicare Advantage players when it comes to nursing home and rehab care. Between 2019 and 2022, they said the rate of denials went from about 8.5% to nearly 23%.
Yeah.
And the report cites the big three in Medicare, Aetna, Humana, and UnitedHealth. Critics say a lot of those denials are increasing because of AI algorithms. In fact, we saw a couple of class action suits filed last year, one of them against Cigna, one of them against UnitedHealth's employer healthcare unit, UMR, on that very issue.
Bertha, we've seen an outpouring along these lines of what you're saying, an outpouring of hate online following the shooting. I want to pull up a graphic. Look at this. Out of 53 reactions to the official post about Thompson's murder from UnitedHealth Group, 48,000 are laughing reactions compared to just around 4,000 sad and heart reactions.
You know why? Because people are beginning, I'm going to be honest. Listen, may he rest in peace. He didn't directly, people are getting fed up. People are waking up. I'm not trying to be weird here, but people are waking up. We're tired of big farm. I'm tired of politics. I'm tired of the health in America. I'm tired of the push in specific genres in America. I'm tired of it. Everyone's sick. No one has money. It's everyone is fighting. Easy access to weapons. Everyone's dying. People are either overstimulated or were broke or were understimulated. There's no opportunities. That's why people are laughing, because when they see a big CEO who's making millions and millions and millions and millions and millions, billions of dollars, that structure in different social class hurts someone who didn't have the same opportunity as this man. Now, am I agreeing that this happened? This should have happened? No. Rest in peace. Absolutely not. But majority of those people that are laughing, because he's rich, because he's CEO. Is that right? No. But am I explaining to you why? Yes. Trust me, I live in New York City. You don't know struggle. Come to my city. Come to my city. Come. Look at struggle outside in the street in the cold, where there's less opportunity and less money funneling through the economy here. It's tough out here. And people being denied insurance, they being denied opportunities. People will revolt. Mark my words. Mark my words.
And now take a look at this. There were thousands of posts across social media glorifying the incident, garnering 8.3 million views, 180,000 likes, and more than 24,000 retweets to a murder in cold blood. My question is this type of animosity normal? And do healthcare executives in the insurance industry receive threats often?
You know, I was talking with corporate security folks today, one of them from Kroll, who says that overall for executives that they all are increasingly receiving threats. And in healthcare, certainly that is true. We've seen instances of violence erupt in hospitals against hospital workers when people get very upset about care for their loved ones at times. Increasingly, insurers are starting to feel that ire again because of this issue of denial of care. But the fact that we've seen this murder happen certainly has pushed all of this into a whole new realm. And I can tell you that the security officials say a number of companies are now reaching out about security for their executives, because publicly traded companies like this one publish their events. This was an event happening in Midtown Manhattan. It was an investor conference. It was public. People knew it was happening yesterday. And so when these events are published, as they must be for publicly traded companies, it creates more of a security risk that a lot of companies are now looking at much more closely.
Bertha, before you go, a lot of people have been tracking this other headline the last 24 hours. The healthcare company Anthem Blue Cross is moving away from a policy to limit the amount of anesthesia they would cover in surgeries. This broke yesterday.
Did you hear that? If you guys don't understand what's happening, I heard about this a couple of days ago. Did you hear that? Listen.
The other headline the last 24 hours. The healthcare company Anthem Blue Cross is moving away from a policy to limit the amount of anesthesia they would cover in surgeries. This broke yesterday. This comes after a lot of push.
They are limiting the amount of anesthesia covering for you. So if you can't afford, I can't believe that I actually live on this planet with people like this. Like, this is the world that I live in. Anesthesia. For you, my people, anesthesia, one of the greatest things that we have found in modern medicine. They want to limit how much to cover. Did you understand that? When I found out about this, my heart hurt, but my brain couldn't understand it. It's like they were talking and like, yo, nigga, is this for real? Yeah, they doing that. Do you understand that? Anesthesia. I I don't know what's happening, but I'm beginning to understand certain things. I'm going to say it again. I'm beginning to understand certain motives. I'm going to say it one more time. I'm beginning to understand certain motives. No, he did not deserve it. No. But I do understand the intent. Because at the end of the day, none of these companies care about you. None of them. Not the government, not security, big farm, insurance. Everyone is after your money and your mother's and grandparents' money. Even lawyers. They don't care about you. I'm going to say it to you clear so you can understand what I'm telling you. They don't care about you. Why would they? Who are you? To hear what I just heard? Anesthesia?
Back from affected states and doctors, even from the...
Yo, somebody said, who's the CEO? Who said that? Wait, I missed it. Somebody said that.
American Society of Anesthesiologists. Could we see healthcare companies continue to move away from unfavorable policies like this because of what we just witnessed in New York City?
You know, it's a fascinating question. They're certainly under a lot of pressure over these issues in a regulatory sense, and not just over the health insurance companies, but a lot of these really big insurers like Aetna, which is part of CVS Health, United Health. They also deal with pharmacy benefits. And as you know, those are called PBMs, pharmacy benefit managers. And those have been one area that has also been scrutinized a lot by regulators and under a lot of pressure as to claims that they contribute to the rising costs of drugs. So we are seeing a lot of pressure on these companies on a regulatory front. And in some cases, they are changing their business models to deal with these regulatory pressures. Certainly, the shocking nature of what has happened here in New York City with this executive is giving a lot of people pause. And
it is, and I just understand. I understand. People are not. It's just not it, ladies and gentlemen. It's just not it. It's just not good. I do have specific directions of locations for tomorrow. I know exactly where to travel. Yeah. So tomorrow, I'm going to go to the backpack. The backpack, I know exactly where the backpack is. Looking at this. I live in New York City. I know New York City like in the back of my ass crack. So I'm not worried about it. I'm going to go to this very spot. Actually, I know I know exactly where this spot is because I shot a commercial like I would say like a bike path away. I shot a commercial in the summertime last year, a sports medicine commercial, and I know where this is. So I'm gonna go here tomorrow to see if they missed anything. You'd be very surprised. I mean, they're gonna look everywhere. They did already. They looked everywhere. But you know what? If he just left that backpack and whatever was found, maybe he is leaving clues and maybe he disposed of something else. What if the gun is not in there? What if the gun is in the water? If you live in New York City, you know that water where the geese on the goose go at? You can just throw the gun right in there and it's gone. I hope they're looking. Because where that direction is, the pond is on the left side. No cameras. I hope they're thinking about that. I hope they're thinking about that. I hope so. Because I know so. And whoever this guy is, however they're going to find him, he is long gone for sure. Because this is planned. And when someone has it planned, they have an exit. Bunny, your comments are getting deleted because you're not putting a space between your periods. Okay. I do have a lot to show you, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this for early tomorrow before I head out to go look for some more items or whatever. If you want to tune in to the podcast where I'm going to go look for items or the bike or whatever, I would recommend that you go to YouTube, or if you're on YouTube, to hit the subscribe button. I'm only going to say that one time. Hit the subscribe button. You got to hit the bell notification because that's going to notify you that, oh, shoot, Nova's online. If not, you're going to miss out. I think I'm not going to make it members, but members, I am going to show you some photos. I am going to bring some items and stuff like that, a backpack. Just on my trip, I'm going to bring some little snacks because I'm going to be going from there to there to there. It's a lot. It's a lot. You guys could show any support you can by my Cash App or Venmo. You don't have to. It's perfectly fine. I'm not asking for anything. But if you can support, that would be great. I'm going to definitely use it on my trip for tomorrow. So anything that you send will be for my trip for tomorrow, as I'm going to go stream and bring my tripod and my backpack, my charger. I'm not going to forget. And my both my phones to make sure I have a backup. And I'm going to stream this directly on YouTube. So I do have to finish the rest of this, what I found out more. But I'm going to save it for tomorrow before I go on the trip. Like, for instance, the whole entire location from the start. Like, this is a drone footage of exactly where it's at right here. You see the residence of the Hilton Club. You go here. That's the park where it was found. Right there. So right next to the Central Park carousel. So I know exactly where I'm going to be heading. All right. Can someone drop the iPhone join link? What is that? Remember, guys, follow the Discord. If you follow the Discord, you're gonna be notified of everything. I let people know where I'm at. I let people know, especially my members, if you're a member. By the way, become a member. Become a member on YouTube or Facebook, where you get endowed with so much perks, such as the stuff that I'm gonna post for members, the pictures and stuff. Priority, badge growth, perks, emojis. My members on YouTube, spam those emojis. Facebook. Come to YouTube, please. Facebook, I love you so much. Please, my Facebook people, just go to YouTube. Spam them. Spam those emojis for the Novicity Nation. Spam those emojis. Let them know the perks you get and the growth that you are receiving. Shout out to my members, by the way. If you're a regular subscriber, that's perfectly fine as well. You are loved, and join the family. All right. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. It is an hour and 50 minutes almost into this segment, and we are finished. So like, share, follow. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate that. Make sure you join the Cord and everything else. Misunderstood. That is a nice name. Don't be misunderstood. This is misunderstood. Welcome to the Novicity Class Nation. I appreciate you joining so much. How much is it? It is $4.99. That's how much it costs to join. $4.99. You get so many perks and priority in the chat as well. All right. So Misunderstood. Let's welcome her. That's a nice name. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I appreciate you for joining. Thank you, Cole and Nicole, for spamming those emojis. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, guys. So I'm out of here. And thank you guys for tuning into the podcast. All right. Like I always say, do good and die great. And I'll see you on the next one.